Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bariconnected podcast. We're so happy to have you. It's where we talk about all things related to weight loss. Okay. And today we're joined by a very, very special guest and a very amazing, incredible person by the name of Jenn Clayton. And I met Jenn, actually, I guess we've kind of connected at several different events now, maybe.
Mhm.
Um, but she's going to be she's joining us to talk about her role as a weight loss and nutrition coach, and she's going to discuss balanced eating and how to do that effectively for for weight loss and for long-term success, because it's not just about like having it happen. You want to be able to maintain it. And she's going to talk about including all food groups, and she's even carbohydrates, because sometimes people are a little bit worried about putting that in their diet. She's also going to share some strategies for mindful eating, portion control, and also how to basically look at your diet and be able to sustain an eating plan that works for you. And a little bit about Jen, she has lost 140 pounds and maintained it for over 2 years. She openly shares her own journey on platforms such as Instagram and YouTube, and she has a private Facebook group called Jen's Tribe. Jen, I'm not giving you way enough credit for everything you do. So I wanna kind of just allow you to open up and start sharing a little bit more about you. And I want to welcome everybody on this call. Whoever's joining us on the live, please feel free to let us know where you're from. Let us know a little bit about you. And there's a comment section. Go ahead and comment on in there. So go ahead, Jen.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jenn Clayton. I am a certified weight loss and nutrition coach. I've actually been a coach for almost 4 years. I have struggled with my weight my entire life. I've always been overweight. There's been very, very short periods of my life that I was at a healthy weight. And the majority of that was when I was younger, when I was a child, obviously, all through middle school, all through high school, all through college, my adult life. I've struggled with my weight. I've done every diet on the planet. And I finally got sick and tired of dieting, sick and tired of the up and down. And in the beginning of 2021, so January 2021, I made a commitment to myself that I was finally going to lose the weight, keep the weight off. And I started counting my calories and tracking my protein, making sure that I was eating enough protein, eating enough calories. I lost 90 pounds in 2021. And then I lost the rest of my weight in 2022, the first few months, and have maintained that weight loss now for almost 3 years now. I am very active. I work out 6 days a week. I am really proud of how far I've come in my fitness journey and my weight loss journey. And I'm really proud about how I've healed my relationship with food as I've lost weight and maintained my weight loss, because without that, I would not have been able to maintain. It's strictly because I worked on my relationship with food as I lost the weight. And I wanted to talk to you guys about why it's important to have balanced eating instead of restricting, eliminating foods or food groups. Even as bariatric patients, carbs are not the enemy, they're actually a necessity. And I wanted to talk to you about why and where to place certain macros throughout the day to most benefit you, when you should be eating carbs, protein, fats, etc. And I do have, like Brenda said, quite a few social media platforms. I'm actually a full-time YouTuber and weight loss and nutrition coach. So I have a couple of YouTube channels. I have a website. I do offer macros and calories. I would highly recommend that, so you know what you should be eating as a bariatric patient on a weight loss journey. And then I have one-on-one coaching as well, where you just get to talk with me directly and I can help you with your individual goals. Oh, I think you're muted, Brenda. Yeah, you're muted.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I
see you.
muted myself. Tell us, like, is this easy enough for the normal person to do? Like the things that you're doing in your own lifestyle and the habits that you've created, is it sustainable? Because that's the thing. It's so hard, when you're doing these things, you start off and then the habits fall away.
Yes, and diets were set up for us to fail. If every diet worked, diet companies wouldn't be in business. If you think about, things like Weight Watchers and Optavia, if they're still around, but all of those diets, they're actually set up for us to fail. And if everybody lost weight and kept it off, they would be out of business. So we need to make sure that what we're doing is a lifestyle, not a diet. And that's why I mentioned when I started out on like actually nailing this down and going, I'm going to lose this weight and I'm going to get this weight off. I did not want to go through menopause overweight. I was over 300 pounds. I'm 49. I'll be 50 this year. And I did not want to go through menopause 300 pounds. All I did is I tracked my calories. I made sure I was in a slight calorie deficit because I didn't want to damage my metabolism while I lost weight. And then all I did is track my protein. You don't have to play macro Tetris. You don't have to try to get everything to line up. If you just focus on protein and calories, your carbs and fats can just be what they're going to be. You can't overeat them because you don't have enough calories if you're focused on protein. So it's easy, it's sustainable, it's not a diet. I still do that to this day. I track my calories, I track my protein. Now, I don't track every day anymore since I'm in maintenance and I kind of know where I need to fall calorie wise to maintain, but I do touch base a few times a week and track my food, and it's just my calories and my protein. That's it.
I mean, that sounds easy enough. It doesn't sound hard in any way. And I know that you have a very busy lifestyle
Mhm.
with everything you have going on with your personal coaching clients and your business, but also the move that you were just telling me about, building a new house and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, Anne says, so true about the diet industry. Thank you for saying it out loud. Appreciate the transparency. And it is true. We're told that you should do this or you should do that. And probably I would guess if you're on this call, likely you've played a part in that before. I know I have, like jumping from one thing to the other because you think this is my answer. This is what I've been looking for. And
Yeah.
maybe temporarily it is, but like long term and sustainable, you have to be able to fit it in your life. Like for me, I love going out to eat. I love being able to fix, yeah, I love being able to fix food for my family and they have foods that they enjoy too as well. So I'm really excited about this topic and what you're saying. And Jen, there is a question coming right off the bat. Is it okay if we dive into that just right before you
Yeah, of
start?
course. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Janie asked, why is it every time I try to get into, oh, it's with our websites.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I can't help you there, but Brenda can. Yeah.
So if you guys so to answer Janie's question about when you register for any of our events, it's going to send you a link in your email. If you go straight to that link in the email and it will send you directly into the webinar without having to register again. Otherwise, it requires you to register again every time you go to the actual link. So what's your email? You get an email, you should be able to get that. So I'm glad somebody brought that up because I've actually had somebody within another part of our community ask that same question. So thank you, Jen. And let's jump in. Let's get started.
So I want to kind of first talk about as a bariatric patient, there's a lot of information that we receive from everybody we talk to, doctors, nutritionists, random people on the internet, our friends, our family. And one of the things that I hear, I do help a lot of bariatric people as a weight loss and nutrition coach. I help non-bariatric people and bariatric people. And one of the things I hear most often from bariatric is, well, I'm really scared to eat carbohydrates because I'm supposed to just eat protein. And that's true in the beginning, the very, very beginning of your bariatric journey. But once you're past the 6-8 month mark, you need to start reincorporating carbohydrates, especially complex carbohydrates, and you need to reincorporate fat. It's really important to eat balanced. And when we restrict or eliminate any food or any food group, it is the #1 cause of binge eating. It is proven that it is the #1 cause of binge eating. So if you tell yourself, I had bariatric surgery, I can never eat carbs again, it's likely that that will be something that will become a food that you could easily binge on instead of just reintroducing carbohydrates as you're able. And if you think about it too, our body leans on carbs for energy. Our body doesn't use fat or protein for energy. Our body uses carbohydrates. So if we don't eat carbohydrates, our body doesn't have the energy that it needs. And oftentimes, when we lack energy, we have additional cravings. And that's for foods like carbohydrates and sugar and processed foods. So even though you're a bariatric patient, it's really important to have a sustainable, balanced diet that includes all the macros. And if you didn't know, the macros are protein, carbs, and fats. And then fiber is kind of off in the distance, and fiber is also extremely important to incorporate. into your diet. And another thing I hear too about carbohydrates is that, well, I'm just afraid, especially gastric bypass, I'm afraid that it's going to cause me to be sick or cause me to have dumping. If you consume complex carbohydrates that contain fiber, it actually slows the digestion of those carbohydrates and doesn't spike your blood sugar. So it's very different if you eat oatmeal or sprouted bread or whole grain crackers than if you eat Skittles or Lay's potato chips, right? That's going to instantly spike your blood sugar, cause you to feel sick. But complex carbs, because there's fiber and often protein in there, will slow that digestion. So those are the carbs that you really want to focus on when you start bringing a lot of carbs back in. And I was telling Brenda before the call, I eat over 200 grams of carbohydrates every day and upwards of 3,000 calories and maintain my weight. So it's important to eat enough and also make sure that what you're eating is balanced.
Yeah, and there's so many different factors to think about when you're looking at that physical activity, the medications
Yes.
you're on, your lifestyle, all of those things. Jen, I just happened to remember before the call we talked about maybe showing your before and after picture. Did you want to show that
Yeah,
here
you can
now,
go.
like as we
Yeah.
go? Because I kind of think it's one of those things I
Yeah.
think people when they see, they're going to be like, wow, you look great before, but you also, I think, I mean, it's notable. 120 pounds of weight loss, or 140 actually, is a
Mhm.
lot of weight loss. So let me jump onto
Beautiful.
that just so that people can see that, and then
Yeah.
just screen share it for a few minutes, just or a moment, just so that people can see it. And here we go. Okay, tell us about the before and after picture here.
So, like I said, I was over 300 pounds. I've been over 300 pounds most of my life, and I was literally miserable, miserable every single day. And it was getting to the point, and I was telling my husband this when I decided to really start on my weight loss journey, like buckle down and do it, that it was getting to the point that I was embarrassed to go out in public. We got new neighbors at our old house, and I didn't even want to go meet them. I would struggle to climb stairs. I remember going to my dentist and having to hang on to the handrail to climb the stairs because it was just too much for me to move my body up the stairs. I couldn't walk and talk at the same time. And I'm running a 10K on Sunday of this weekend. I'm going to San Diego to run a 10K. And all of those things that I couldn't do before, I was just miserable. I was embarrassed. I tried everything, nothing would work. I would be up and down in my weight loss. And it was because I wasn't eating enough. And that's why you've got to know your macros and calories. Is I was in too severe of a deficit that my metabolism was basically non-existent. So I had to get my metabolism back up and running in order to lose and maintain my weight loss. So the person on the left was 100% miserable. I mean, miserable. And now today I was telling Brenda, I'm proud of all the fitness things I've done. I climbed a huge mountain here in Tucson. I can run 30 minutes without stopping. I can have a conversation when I run. These are all things that I never thought that I would be able to do at over 300 pounds. So it's definitely a difference. And people always tell me I look younger, which is interesting because there's, 5 years of age difference in the pictures. And people always say, oh, you look so much younger now. And we always think we're going to look older. And that's not necessarily the case with weight loss if it's done right and done in a sustainable way.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop sharing. I do have a question for you. Like when somebody is doing these measures of what you're talking about, my mind kind of went blank for a second. Is it possible to do these things and still feel like you're like if you have a plateau or you have these things, is it possible to get over that? Because that's probably one of the more common things. And also, there's a lot of people now on GLP-1 medications. And how
Mhm.
does that work? So, kind of a two-part question. Like, there may be people on this call that are either fearful of a plateau or experiencing one, and then also how does this work with GLP-1s?
So a weight loss plateau is inevitable. You're not going to start here and do this. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic. So you have to know that there's going to be some of this and there's going to be some of this. And I will tell you that a plateau, people think I'm on a plateau. I'm not moving. My waist's not moving. It's been a week. That's not a plateau. A plateau is 4 to 6 weeks of zero movement. So if your scale is moving at all in either direction, point this, a little pound here, a little pound. That's not maintenance. Or that's not a plateau. A plateau is zero movement for 4 to 6 weeks, which is going to happen. I was on a plateau. And typically, I will tell you that there are a few little things you can do to break a plateau, whether you're bariatric or not. The number one reason people get on a plateau is because they're not eating enough. And remember how I said that if you eat too little, your metabolism will slow. It's called, people call it a starvation mode, I think is what they call it, but it's actually called metabolic adaptation. And that means that your metabolism adapts to the low number of calories that you're eating. And as bariatric patients, you eat a low amount of calories, especially in the beginning. So your metabolism is going to slow and adapt to that. That's just what our body does. And once your metabolism slows, it's going to level out. And that's where you start to see a plateau. So how you can break that is increase your calories. That's the number one way to break it. Eat more. Eat more calories, shock your body by giving it more calories. You can also increase or start exercising. If maybe you just started out on your bariatric journey and you haven't introduced exercise yet, maybe start taking a 10-minute walk every day. That's going to get everything moving in your body, burn a few extra calories. You can also change up the foods that you're eating. That's what happens too with a lot of people is they eat the same thing day in and day out. Our body gets used to that. Just like your personal trainer will change your workouts every 4 to 6 weeks, you need to be changing your food as well because your body will get used to it. And I had one client, I'll tell you, she's not bariatric. She's been working with me for 3 years. She's lost over 200 pounds. Counting her calories, counting her macros. I have several people who've lost over 100. She hit a 8-week plateau and she didn't tell me until it had been like 6 weeks. And I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take you from 1,900 calories to 2,100 calories. So I bumped her up 200 calories. And the next week she lost 7 pounds and has since never hit a plateau. So sometimes it's upping the calories, changing the food, adding the exercise, just making little changes that can help your body get back into weight loss mode. And then as far as GLP-1s, I've personally never taken a GLP-1 medication, but also what I know about it and also working with people that take GLP-1 is it reduces your appetite. That's the point of the medication. So that's where you can fall into that metabolic adaptation where you're not eating enough and your metabolism slows down. So you've really got to be mindful of making sure you're still eating enough on a GLP-1 medication. And if that means incorporating higher calorie foods to hit your calories, like maybe you put real butter in your eggs instead of cooking spray, or maybe you roast your vegetables and you put olive oil on them, or some way to increase your calories so that your metabolism doesn't slow based on having a GLP-1 medication.
So how would you describe helping somebody who you're adding calories and
Mhm.
there's always that fear of when you add calories that you're going to gain weight and that's their goal is to lose weight. So how do you get people over that?
So you have to know the difference between weight gain and weight fluctuation. That's another thing, kind of like when you lose weight, you're not always going to just go down, right? And every single pound that comes off your body isn't going to be fat. So first of all, weight loss and fat loss are different. Weight is fat, lean muscle, and water. Fat is fat, right? Our goal is fat loss. So sometimes when we increase calories, we will see the scale go up. It's a fluctuation. You didn't gain 3 pounds because you had pizza for dinner, right? It's a fluctuation based on the foods that you ate. And part of reverse dieting, which is correcting your metabolism, can include some weight gain. But I will tell you, it's very temporary, very, very temporary. You might gain a couple pounds, but within a few weeks, that'll all be gone and then some because your metabolism will kick back in and start burning through the food that you're eating. So you can't only base your success on the scale. And that is another thing I really worked on. I will tell you, I'm 5'8". I am 25 pounds overweight on the BMI chart. I'm actually considered overweight on the BMI chart. I'm not overweight. I've had a DEXA scan. I don't have any fat to lose. I'm way between 185 and 195. That is a healthy weight for me with lean muscle on my body. And I had to learn to not focus on the scale. And I focus more on how my body looks, how my clothes fit, my measurements. I started taking pictures in a sports bra and underwear from the front, the back, the side. And I would see the scale go up 2 pounds, but I would lose a whole entire clothing size. That's because I lost fat, and muscle and fat weigh exactly the same. Pound's a pound of flour, pound of fat, pound of muscle, it's a pound. But if you replace a pound of fat that's this big with muscle that's this big, the scale doesn't move, but your body changes. So that's all stuff you have to take into consideration, not just the scale.
That's 100% like on point because what happens is I know for me, whenever I first started like really getting serious with working out, it's probably been a little over a
You
year
gained weight,
of
I bet.
doing that. No, actually, I mean,
Oh,
I didn't really, I mean, I didn't really gain weight, but what I noticed is the weight that I was losing when my trainer did the calculations. My body f I mean, I may lose maybe, say, 5 to 10 pounds. Actually, I did, now that you said that. I would lose maybe 5 to 10 pounds, but I was gaining muscle, so my
mhm.
muscle composition would go up, but then
Yep,
my pounds were going down. So, like,
yep.
by looking at the scale, you'd never know that unless you do some type of body composition. And there are calculators online. I don't really
Uh,
have recommendations. Don't use those?
no,
No?
same with calorie calculators. If you put your height, weight, activity level into 5 calculators, you're gonna get 5 different answers. And they're none of them are accurate. That's why I do them. I can do macros and calories by hand with math. So they're very, very accurate. I followed my own macros and calories to lose 140 pounds. I did my own. So same with body composition. The only way to know is to have a DEXA scan. And a lot of times your gym will have a body composition scale, which is pretty accurate, but also a DEXA scan. That's what I had, where you actually go to a radiology place and it'll tell you your lean muscle, your fat, your water. It even tells you your bone density. And as you get older, you want to make sure your bone density is healthy. It will tell you everything and it's 100% accurate. And that's why I can tell you, even though if I go to the doctor and she tells me to lose 25 pounds to be at the high end of the BMI, that's just not going to work for me. I would have to lose muscle in order to do that. So have a DEXA scan, invest in yourself. Sometimes your insurance will even cover it. My insurance did not cover it, and I live in Arizona, and it was about $100. Best $100
Okay,
I
I
ever
was curious
because
about
I
that.
got to learn everything about my body. I want to have another one. It's been about a year and a half since I had the last one. And my weight, like I said, is the same. You have a weight range, not a number. You're never going to stick to one number. So don't have your goal be 150, have your goal be 150 to 160 because you're never going to be able to maintain a solid number forever. So have a 10-pound range. And as long as I'm in that 10-pound range or you're in your maintenance range, you can be confident that what you're doing is working. And that's
Awesome.
another thing people get wrapped up in. Well, my goal weight is 145 and I'm 147. Okay, that's great. You're still in your weight range, right? You're still in a healthy weight range. At least 5 to 10 pounds of a range is where you want to have for maintenance. Right now, I'm at the lower end of my maintenance, but I have been at the high end of my maintenance multiple times because I can gain 5 pounds overnight, depending on what I eat, a fluctuation of 5 pounds. So make sure you have a range, not just a set number. And I can help you with that through coaching. We can talk about a maintenance range that's healthy for you and sustainable for you. I thought I would weigh at least 15 pounds less than I do at maintenance. But as I lost weight and got closer to maintenance, I'm like, I'm good here. This is sustainable for me. And that's what Brenda was saying. It's about being sustainable. Could I lose 15 pounds? Could I get to the high end of the BMI chart? Absolutely. Would I be miserable? Yes. Would I be able to maintain it? No. And I'd rather go have pizza with my friends than weigh 10 pounds less and be at that number. I'm happy. You got to be happy where you are. And that's why you
And
need that.
confident.
Yeah.
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 Sarah says, "You look beautiful." This is from Facebook.
Oh, thank you, honey.
And there's a couple other comments. Zach says hi. Zach
Hello,
Nunez
Zach.
says hi.
Hi, Zach. I love
Um,
Zach. Okay.
we actually have a couple comments, questions. Is it okay
Yeah, of
to
course.
do those as we go? Because I would like to dive into this a little bit different and know kind of like a little bit of some examples of what you're talking about. But one person asked, "How did you get your arms to tone down?"
So you can't spot fat reduce. That's another misconception, another myth out there. If fat's going to come off where fat wants to come off, the only way to tone up your body in general is to strength train, is to lift weights. So you can do all the cardio, be a cardio queen all you want, but you've got to strength train. And I will tell you that once I shed about 60 pounds of my weight, it was about October of 2021 that I joined, I'm still part of it, a boot camp group in my area. We work out at 5 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, outside year round since I live in a warm climate. And the minute I started strength training, my body just instantly started to tone up. Now, I will also say that I have had skin removal surgery. I had a back lift, an extended breast lift, and implants, but I was able to tone up my arms. And actually, there's a picture, Brenda, in that slide I sent you with my website where I'm showing my arms, and I was able to build that lean muscle and tone that up with strength training. So the only way to get rid of loose skin is to have surgery, but we don't care about loose skin if we're healthy, right? I'd rather weigh 140 pounds less and have loose skin. But if you strength train, you're really going to be able to tone things up, arms, legs, body, but you're going to lose fat overall, not just in certain areas. But usually fat will come off first where you store most of it. So I mentioned that I had a back lift. I stored a lot of weight in my back, a lot. So when I lost all my weight, that's the area that suffered the most. It was very saggy. When I would exercise, it would shake around. I have not had a tummy tuck. I absolutely need a thigh lift. I haven't had one, but I removed the skin off my body that impeded my exercise. So the more fat you have and the more fat you lose, the more skin you're going to have as well. And you just got to do your best to tone it up with weightlifting.
Okay. Let me go up here just a little bit. We have a comment. It says, I had NSV 9 or 7, 2018, lost 145 pounds, thought I didn't look as good at 193, sabotaged myself to gain about 10 pounds and gain 60. I was miserable again. So I had revision to gastric bypass on 7 of 2024. The weight loss is now slower, but I feel better. I've lost 38 of the 60. And you are so right. The fluctuation is real. And I'm so happy you spoke on that. Thanks for sharing. This is encouraging.
Absolutely. And you have to just be okay with fluctuations. I saw this thing about, actually, I'm going to share it in my Facebook group. It was talking about how you, in order to gain a pound of fat, you have to eat 3,500 calories above your maintenance. Okay. And for most women, maintenance is in the 2000s, 2,500, 2,600, 2,700. So for you to gain a pound of fat, you have to eat your maintenance plus 3,500 calories. So if you didn't eat 8,000 calories the day before, you did not gain a pound of fat. You may be fluctuating based on salt, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates retain water. That's why people, when they start a low carb diet and they're like, I lost 7 pounds in a week. I'm like, you lost 7 pounds of water because carbohydrates hold water. You didn't lose fat, you lost water. So you have to know that depending on exercise, food, hormones, your body type, you can gain weight, have a weight fluctuation almost every single day. And you just have to be okay with that. I weigh myself at night. I forget to weigh myself half the time. Like that's how little it really matters. It's more about your body and how you feel in your body. So I'm glad that you are okay where you are, even though you didn't lose every single pound that you thought that you needed to lose.
Okay, we have another comment. Thank you for mentioning that a pound is a pound, but the density of fat and muscle is vastly different, which changes your measurements, clothing sizes, but not the scale weight.
Absolutely.
I've always been a scale watcher, but this is helping me to learn to focus on sustainable range. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. And that's where people, I can't even tell you how many of my coaching clients say, I'm really scared to strength train because I'm going to gain weight. I'm like, shoot, if I gained 5 pounds of muscle, I would not care at all. I'd be like, yes, the scale went up 5 pounds. It's all muscle. Fantastic. So you can't be scared of weight gain. That's why I asked you if you gained weight, Brenda, because that's very normal. And also when you lift weights, you break your muscles down. And in order for your muscles to repair and grow, they retain water. So for example, if I do I lift weights in the gym twice a week, I run twice a week, I do boot camp 3 times a week, I hike, I walk. When I strength train in the gym and I lift heavy weight in the gym twice a week, I can gain 3 pounds the next day. And it's because my muscles have broken down, retained water, which is what you want to happen so that they'll grow. And also the more lean muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn doing absolutely nothing. So I have quite a bit of lean muscle. So while I'm sitting here, I'm burning calories. So it's important to have the muscle, even if it means the scale doesn't always cooperate with you. Take those measurements, take those pictures. That's what you're really going to be like, dang, I gained 3 pounds, but look, I wear a size 8 now, not a 10.
Yeah,
So very
the
different than
difference in
how
how
your
you
body looks
look.
it. Yes.
That's important too.
Yes.
I think too, what really helped me over the process of losing some regain over the last year and a half for
Mhm.
me was writing down certain parameters each week, each month, and like comparing them over time, like,
Yeah.
and then also taking pictures because you don't realize how the muscle does look much different than what the fat looked. Even if your weight isn't like, 50 pounds different, you can still tell those differences.
Yeah.
I
And people who lift weights like bodybuilders, they're actually obese on the BMI chart. My coach that sets up my workouts for me, she has like 8% body fat. She's obese on the BMI chart. She doesn't have any body fat to lose. So that's the thing, is the muscle and the fat weigh the same. So for her, and even for me, I mean, I weigh a lot. People always say, oh, you look like you weigh way less than that. That's muscle. Fat is this, muscle is this. So the more of this, the smaller you look. So don't be scared of strength training. As a bariatric patient, you have to strength train because it's going to boost your metabolism. It's going to help with loose skin, and it's going to tone up your body. And those are all things you want with massive, massive weight loss.
Yeah, increase your energy, increase your
Yes,
thought processes, your
yes.
clarity,
Your
your
focus, your balance of
flexibility.
life, your mood.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
tell you, I'm like, I don't want to go work out. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, so glad I went and worked out. Like I just feel so much better, even though I drug myself there. Yeah, which happens.
Yeah, for
Which
sure, for
happens. Yeah.
sure.
I do like to work out, but there's days that I don't want to, and you drag yourself there.
I love this question. After surgery, how can we be expected as far as appetite and to keep that under control? Because, sometimes that is an issue for people. You
Mhm.
know, what would you recommend with that?
So when you have bariatric surgery, it basically resets your body's set point. But that only lasts for a certain period of time. So I find that once you hit about the year mark post bariatric surgery, sometimes sooner for some people, sometimes later, everybody's different. It's going to be different for everybody. But I find that at that year mark, that's when you start to see your appetite increase, which is a good thing because in order for you to maintain a healthy metabolism, you have to eat enough. So it's good that you have an appetite. Where we can get into trouble is if we start eating foods that don't fill us up, right? Because you can eat very little chicken and you can eat a whole bag of Lay's potato chips. So it's about balancing it, right? Having the chicken, but also having the Lay's potato chips. Don't tell yourself you can't have chips. You just have less chips and more chicken. I always tell my clients, you get way more broccoli than you do brownies. You can still have the brownies, but you just get less of it. And that's kind of how you want to balance your eating once you are able to eat more, is make sure you're really focused on your protein. And then you've got a vegetable or a fruit, and then you've got a small amount of carbohydrates. And eat your protein first. I do that. I eat my protein first always. If I have a steak, a potato, and a vegetable, I'm eating all of my steak. And then if I'm still hungry, I'm eating my vegetable. And then if I'm still hungry, I'm eating my carbohydrate. And most of the time, I don't even get through my vegetable. And I'm like, I'm good. I don't need the vegetable. I don't need the carb. And I do that a lot when I eat out to make sure that I'm not going crazy when I'm eating out. I really focus on the protein first. And protein fills you up. It's the one macro that fills you up and is hardest for your body to digest. And that's why as bariatric people, you need to eat a lot of protein.
So it's more about the kinds of food you're eating, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, you still
Um,
need to eat balance, but you've got to make the healthiest choices. I say 80-20. 80% you're on track, you're eating what you're supposed to do. 20% you're living your best life. You're having pizza, you're having cake. I'm a sweets eater. I have to eat dessert every day. I would die if I didn't get dessert every day. Cake, cookie, whatever. I just make sure that 80% of my food is good and then 20% I'm living my life. I'm going out to dinner. I don't drink alcohol, but I love sweets. So if you can have this beer or this cake, I'm always going to pick the cake. But it doesn't mean that I eat the whole cake. I eat a serving of the cake. That's about making sure it's balanced and not restricting or saying you can't have certain things.
and I think that's the hard part. People get this fear. Antoinette says, I won't lie, I'm scared to eat rice, pasta, bread, potatoes, and
See?
high sugary fruits because of being former type 2 diabetic who still monitors sugar. So, maybe the types of carbohydrates, is that what
Yes.
you would
So
say?
fruit has fiber, right? So when you eat fruit, because it has fiber, it slows the digestion and doesn't spike your blood sugar. I mean, it still spikes it, but you don't have that drastic spike like you do with sweet. So for her, for example, maybe she doesn't eat a lot of rice and pasta right now, and she focuses on reintroducing fruit. If you have a weight loss coach, a nutritionist, somebody in your life telling you to not eat fruit because you're going to gain weight, you need to find a new doctor, weight loss coach, nutritionist, because fruit is actually one of the healthiest foods that you can eat. I eat fruit 5 times a day easily. With pretty much every meal, I eat fruit and usually part of a snack as well because I like sweets and that helps satisfy my sweet tooth in a healthy way.
And this is right along that same line, the fear comes in with the calories too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Increasing your calories. So somebody's commenting on that same aspect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the Q&A box. It says, I've been working with a personal trainer for 6 weeks now. I work out 3 times a week with weights and do cardio steps daily. I eat 1,400 calories daily and am challenged with consumption of that much food. How do I improve outcomes? I have not lost any weight in 5 to 6 weeks.
You're probably not eating enough. I mean, 1,400 calories a day is pretty low for most people. Again, there's factors, your age, your height, your weight, your genetics, all that. Those are things I take into account when I do your macros. A trainer is not a weight loss and nutrition coach. So if your trainer gave you those calories, I would probably have your macros and calories done by someone like myself that can actually give you what's recommended for your body. And you also have to remember, in order for you to build lean muscle, which is what you're trying to do by working out, right? So you can be healthy and strong, you have to eat enough. You're not going to gain muscle if you don't eat enough. So maybe if you're early post-op, maybe you try to get it in liquid form, because our body reacts different to liquids than solids. So maybe you have an extra protein shake, or maybe you get some clear protein water or something, so you can get in those calories, get in the protein, and still be able to eat enough regular food throughout the day. And we should be using supplements as supplements. They supplement our diet, they don't replace it. So we need to make sure that the majority of our food is where we're getting our nutrients and protein. I was telling Brenda, I ate 1,200 calories by noon. I was telling her that before we started. I was like, I would die if I only got 1,200 calories a day. So, I mean, sometimes in order for you to fix your metabolism, you have to eat more. So you're just going to have to do your best to get in those calories.
Okay. Okay. The scan that you were talking about, somebody's asking about, it's called a DEXA, DEXA scan.
DEXA scan. If you just Google DEXA scan in my area, something will pop up. I live outside of Tucson, so I had to drive into Tucson for mine. But I'm telling you, it is so enlightening. And my mom has osteoporosis, so I was really relieved that my bone density was really good when I had the DEXA scan, because that's a genetic thing. So it's really important for your health, but also so you can go, oh, maybe I don't need to lose as much weight as I thought that I had to lose. The doctor that did my DEXA scan, he's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Like, you don't need to lose another pound. I actually weigh less than I did then. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, you are great the way you are, even though I'm overweight on the BMI chart. But for my body, that DEXA scan showed me that this is where I need to be. So it's actually kind of a good thing to have it, so that you can rest assured that you're in the right place.
Oh, that's a great point.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. Somebody's just kind of making a comment that they went to swim classes, gained 6 pounds, but are more toned. So
Yeah,
they
that's
like
the
the
muscle.
comments at the, yeah.
Yes. Good
Um,
job. You keep swimming. You keep gaining weight if it means you're gaining muscle.
Someone commenting about taking pictures of their back. Although my weight is lower, I can tell the difference in exercise is making on my body. Thanks for addressing
Yes.
all these issues I've gone through. I've tried eating on a schedule and it works when I can get it right. However, snacks at night is my downfall. Do you eat something at night? Also, if so, what do you think about juicing? So I would like to get there are so many more comments, but I would
Yeah.
like to kind of have you answer that question and then kind of dive into maybe what this might look like for someone.
Yeah. So most of the time, if someone comes to me and says, oh, I do so good during the day, and then at night I just go off the rails. Well, define good. What does that mean? Does that mean you restricted calories all day so that you had enough for dinner and dessert? That's why you're overeating. Also, bored eating is really common. I'm a bored eater. I'm not an emotional eater. I'm a bored eater. And when I'm watching TV at night, I always think I need a snack. Still to this day, I'm not. And then I'll ask myself, are you even hungry? No, you're not hungry. So what I do is I eat a meal or a snack before I go to bed. That's my dessert. I reserve calories for the end of the day, because I know that I'm going to think I'm hungry at night when I'm watching TV. So it's just about balancing out your calories throughout the day to have enough for the evening. And again, if that's when you want to have a sweet treat, have a sweet treat. My recommendation would be, the best thing for your body is to eat protein before bed. So oftentimes I'll have a protein shake. I'll blend up a protein shake because it's sweet, but I'm also getting protein, which helps my body rebuild the muscle overnight. So again, it's about the foods that you're choosing. If you're going to eat M&Ms, eat them earlier in the day so you can burn them off throughout the day. Don't eat them as you're going to sleep at night. And it's about making sure that you use carbs for energy and protein for satiety throughout the day. And that's when you place those foods.
Do you juice? Do you juice at
No.
all? No.
No, you
I
don't need
know
to
there's
detox. Your body does it naturally. Those are all like diet culture things, like, and juicing. You know why you lose weight when you juice? Because you're in a deficit. So instead of being miserable in a calorie deficit, why don't you eat what you want in a calorie deficit? And that's where I was like, I'm so tired of dieting. I literally can't even stand it anymore. And I never wanted to diet again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to eat whatever I want as long as I'm in a deficit. And I lost 90 pounds in 1 year. So, I mean, you got to eat in a deficit. You've got to know your calorie deficit.
someone's commenting, their nutritionist kept me at 1,200 calories and 60 grams of protein, and this person is at 115 pounds. I'd say everybody's bodies are completely different. So if that's what's working for you and you're wanting to be at 115, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's when you're becoming unhappy with what you're doing and you need different choices and different plans and
Yeah, and you
yeah.
also want to make sure, like I said, you're eating enough to maintain your metabolism so that you're not ruining your metabolism. Because the only way to fix your metabolism is to eat more. And when we eat more, when our metabolism is so damaged and we go from 1,200 to 1,700, we're going to gain weight. We're going to gain weight. That's what's going to happen. And the only way to fix your metabolism is to do that. So you might as well do your best to not damage your metabolism while you're reaching your weight loss goals. And I will say nutritionists love the 1,200 calories. I will tell you, I've been a weight loss coach for almost 4 years. I've done thousands of people's macros. I could count on two hands how many people that I work with that eat 1,200 calories. It's typically way more than that. I mean, somebody who's 80, who's 4'11", of course they're going to get 1,200 calories, but most women, especially if you're at all active, need way more than that. So I would definitely make sure that's enough for you so you're not damaging your metabolism.
Okay. And a comment from Albert, is there anything wrong with juicing?
No, it's just not sustainable, number one, right? And are you getting in all of your nutrients from juice? And if you're doing it to lose weight, if the minute you stop juicing, you're just going to gain your weight back. Right? Because you didn't lose fat in a week of juicing. Fat loss comes off very, very slowly. You lost weight, which is lean muscle, fat, and water. So if you like juice, knock yourself out, but make sure that you're eating a balanced diet, that you're not just drinking juice for your meals. It's just not
So what
sustainable. Whatever you do to lose weight, you have to do it to maintain your weight loss.
so Jen, what would I'm not sure if we need to go to your website or what we need to do next, but because we're getting closer, but when we're looking at a meal plan for a day,
Mhm.
what would that look like for you, in your
So I
opinion?
recommend 4 to 6 meals a day. And this is for non-bariatric people. For bariatric, you could do 6 to 8 meals a day, especially because you're not really eating a full meal. My breakfast and your breakfast may look completely different. And you need to also make sure that you're eating about every 2 to 3 hours. And even if it's a small amount, even if it's a cheese stick and an apple, and then you have your lunch, and then you eat a granola bar, like try to eat every 2 to 3 hours because our metabolism is like a fire. So if you go in your backyard and you turn on your fire pit and you roast your marshmallow and then you leave and you go inside for 3 hours, what's going to happen to your fire? It's going to go out. You constantly have to stoke it. And that's what we have to do with food for our metabolism. So we constantly have to fuel the fire. I eat every 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it's like in an hour I'm hungry. And you have to listen to your body. If you're hungry, there's a reason that you're hungry. Your metabolism's working if you're hungry. That's great. So make sure as a bariatric patient, you're like 6 to 7 meals a day or at minimum 4 meals every day so that you're getting in those calories and you're constantly stoking that fire. And you should be eating within an hour or two of waking up. Breakfast stands for break fast, and you fasted the whole night while you slept. So now you need to break that fast. So even if it's just a protein shake, just have something 1 to 2 hours upon waking and make sure it's 20 grams of protein or more. And that's going to get your metabolism going and your body ready for the day. And you'll notice that you'll be less hungry and cravey throughout the day if you start off with a good breakfast. Plus,
I
breakfast is my
think,
favorite meal. I love
yeah,
breakfast.
it's so
Like
good.
avocado toast, eggs, like bring it all over here. Yeah.
Well, and that might help those people too, like the person who asked earlier about not being able to eat so much during the day. They don't feel like they're
Eat
able
more
to
often.
get in because you can eat different portions and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, smaller portions, but more frequently.
Yep.
Um, okay.
Oh, and I'll tell
So
you too, Brenda, you talked about my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, my channel, Jenn Clayton. If you want to know what I eat, I do a what I eat in a day video every Wednesday on my channel where you get to spend the whole day with me. It's actually really fun. You actually get to be in my life and see my husband, see my dogs, you like what's happening in my life. And I share all of the food that I eat. And I share with you the calories and the protein that I eat every day. So you can kind of see what I'm eating and what is working for sustainable weight loss as well as maintenance. So if you're interested, I do that every Wednesday. I do a meal prep every Monday. I do a grocery haul every Saturday so you can see the foods that I'm buying. So if you're interested, that you can find all of that on my YouTube channel.
let's actually go to that because there are quite a few questions about about what that looks like.
Yeah.
Um, in regarding, somebody's asking also about macros and how to figure those. So I
Mhm.
know that
So
you
I'll do
actually
it.
do, and then we have a couple people also asking how um are you available with coaching? So yes,
Yeah.
that is something too. So I'm going to go
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah. It's
So
all on
we
my website, all of the macros and calories, coaching. I have some recipe ebooks. All of that is on my jennclaytonnutrition.com website. So I would recommend your macros and calories because that's how you know how much you're supposed to eat to lose weight, maintain your weight, whether you're bariatric or not. And then coaching is going to allow you to talk with me directly so we can set you up to be successful with a game plan.
So I'm going to post those here in the comments section, but I'm also going to navigate there. Before I do that, let me just jump onto, I just posted them here on the Zoom. If you're listening to the replay later, what I would suggest is to go to the description of the description, and you should be able to find that information there as well. I'll be
And
posting that
that slide I
information.
sent you has my website on it. The
Okay,
second
let me
slide
go ahead
that
and put that up as
yeah.
well. Let me put I'm putting a comment in Facebook right now with all of that information.
And there is a contact me button on my website where you can, if you have questions or you're like, what exactly am I supposed to get? You just hit the button, I'll answer you back. I get an email and I will respond back to you.
Okay, there we go. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to pop on some of these places that Jen just mentioned so that can kind of better show you. So the first thing we're going to pop onto is Jen's website, which is jennclaytonnutrition.com. And Jen, I'm going to allow you to let me know where you want me to navigate and show them.
Okay, so the very first one is personalized macros and calories. So that is where you can find out how much calories, protein, fat, carbs you need to be eating. And then next to that is one-on-one coaching, and that's a 30-minute session. So that's directly just me and you on a one-on-one call. And then next to that is after you've lost 15 to 20 pounds, or when you hit maintenance, you need to have your macros redone. So it's a little bit less expensive to do your macros the second time around. And then below that, I also offer coaching packages. So if you want more than one session, you can buy 5 or 10 sessions. And that's actually going to give you a lower price per session and allows you to get on my schedule in a permanent spot every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever you want to do. And then my recipe ebooks are also on here. I have a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks and dessert. These are my favorite recipes, my tried and trues, and you can purchase the recipe ebook. It comes directly to your email. You can print it off, save it, whatever you prefer to do. I have 4 separate ebooks. And that's pretty much what's on my website. There's a text us button down in the corner. If you hit that, or you can do the contact me if you have questions, and I'll get an email and I will respond to you and answer any questions you have.
Okay. What type of clients do you work with?
Everybody from bariatric clients. I have morbidly obese clients. I have people at their goal weight that are trying to have fitness goals. Everybody. I work with diabetics, older population. I'm actually moving to a 55 and older community, and my neighbor, I'm working with her, and she's in her 60s. So I work with everybody. We don't discriminate. We will help everybody.
I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the 2 YouTube channels.
Yes.
Tell us about each of these.
So this is my main channel. So this is the one that I do a what I eat in a day on. Brenda, if you click where it says videos, do you see that right? Oh yeah, click there. So today is Wednesday. So there is my video from today, what I eat a day. So every Wednesday I do a what I eat in a day. We do a meal prep, grocery hauls, weigh-ins. I do fun videos like my favorite supplements for weight loss, my favorite foods. So lots of protein videos. This is my main YouTube channel. So this is the one that I do consistently full time. I upload 5 videos a week here.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And then how about your other Clayton Nutrition?
Yeah, so this, it's funny because there's me before in that little, in that video, that was before I lost all my weight. This is all based on nutrition. So I'm going to debunk diet culture. I'm going to share with you habits that you're doing that are making you fat, you know, healthier food choices, why you need to eat breakfast. Like I'm going to share with you all nutrition based content on this channel. And I upload on this channel twice a week. So you can subscribe by just hitting the little subscribe button right under the name of the channel.
Right
Yeah,
here.
right there. That'll subscribe you to the nutrition channel and then my main channel.
And then when we jump over here to your Facebook tribe, Jenn's
Yeah.
tribe, your private Facebook group, tell us what they can find there.
Okay, so this is a free Facebook group. I have 27, almost 28,000 people in this Facebook group. This is all about weight loss support. It doesn't matter how you lose your weight, when you lose your weight, if you're losing weight, if you're at your maintenance, we are here to support each other. And this is kind of how you can keep up with me day to day. We do a lot of recipe sharing. We share a lot of products. I just found a really great pair of running shoes. I shared it on my Facebook group. So it's free for you to join. You just have to click the join group. Make sure you answer the questions because my moderators won't let you in unless you answer the questions, just because we get a lot of spam. So we want to make sure we've got good quality people in my Facebook group, but it's free. So come and join us. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. And then Instagram.
Yes, this is my Instagram. I do post a lot of reels. I post a lot of motivational content on here. I post a lot about real life and what it means sometimes when we look in the mirror and we don't see the body that we think that we should see. I post a lot of fitness content on here. So it's just another platform to follow me on if you want to keep up with me a little bit more day to day. I post pretty regularly. I do stories every single day. If you want to know what I'm doing for workouts, food, favorite things, this is where you'll find it.
Awesome. Oh, Jenn, any closing
Lots of
thoughts
fun.
for your
Yeah.
part? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I would love to help you. This is my passion. Like I said, I do this. This is my full-time job. It's how I support my family. And I love seeing you guys reach your goals because as someone who's been overweight my entire life, I love to see other people get where I am. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just a normal person who puts myself on the internet. I'm nobody special. I will teach you exactly what I did. And if it works for you, which I will tell you, most of my clients are very, very, very successful and they keep that weight off long term, which is the whole point. We don't want to lose weight to gain it all back. It's too hard to do that.
Would most people do, what do most people do? Just a one-time appointment? Do they do multiple appointments?
Typically, I recommend getting your macros and calories done. And when you purchase that, also purchase a coaching session because then when you get your macros and calories, you can review it and go, okay, here's all my questions. How am I going to hit that protein? What am I supposed to do here? And then on the call, we can talk about that. And then typically what happens is after we do one call, people will either book sporadic calls or they'll buy a package and they're like, listen, can I talk to you every 2 weeks? Can I talk to you once a month? And then that way I can get them on my schedule. So it's kind of personal preference. Sometimes I talk to someone once and then they kill it and I don't have to talk to them again. Other people need that accountability and that support. Typically people talk to me every 2 weeks or once a month. Those are the typical time frames that I talk to people. And my
That's
dog's
awesome.
here. So welcome.
He's so cute.
They just busted in here and opened the
Cutie.
door. Lola Palmer, they're all in here.
Looks cozy over there in the
Yeah,
corner.
she's the best.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm also wanting to do a shout out for our sponsor. Is it okay if I do that real quick?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes. So most of you know who've been on our calls before that Procare Health is our major sponsor for doing these podcasts. And I'm going to jump over to their website just real quick, show you some amazing things that are going on there right now. So it's procarenow.com. When you get over there, you're going to see a big banner with the products that are just now, on promotion. This week, we actually just dropped our Peaches and Cream Calcium Chews, which are amazing. I just opened up this in a new tab here to show you the big thing about these. They're basically they do not have that gritty texture, which you have with a lot of the different calcium products out there. They're made with 500 milligrams of true calcium, 500 IU of vitamin D3, because who can't use more D3? And I will say, when you're pairing your calcium with your vitamin D, that's when you're going to have those best results as far as getting your both your calcium level up and your vitamin D3. They just really complement each other. This does have probiotics in it, no artificial sweeteners, sugar, alcohols, or added artificial additives. So that is brand new, brand spanking new, just came out. Also want to say, for anybody that might be on the call who's had a duodenal switch or a SATI procedure, we do have a combination product out now. The DS SATI Core, it actually is a replication of our product that we've had in the past for our DS SATI patients. It comes in a chew or a capsule, but we also have a plus, which is actually just 80 EK vitamins, which are fat soluble vitamins. So if you're struggling, whether you're a DS80 patient or you just need more of your fat soluble vitamins, we do have that core. It's called Plus. I'm sorry, it's called Plus as a product as well. And then I also want to just say if you want to stay, I'm going to call it Bariconnected. On our website, we also have this Body and Soul Resources tab. When you go down here, you'll find our tab called Bariconnected, which I have it open over here. And Jenn's Jenn's program today is actually listed on here as our first event for the month. It will be on replay for a full month. We then after about a week, usually the Tuesday following any of our events, we do put all of our replays on our. I'm going to scroll down here on our podcast, which is under Bariconnected, and also on our YouTube channel, which you can go when you're subscribing for Jenn's YouTube channel to get notifications, when new events are added. You can also subscribe to Procare Health YouTube channel and you'll get notifications there as well. We also have a Facebook page, a Facebook group called Bariconnected. And so if you're really into community, join Jenn's community, Jenn's tribe, and go in and join Bariconnected as well. So that's what we have. I also want to just mention, because I always like just saying, if anybody hasn't ever tried Procare Health, they're known for being like really high quality products, follow the ASMBS guidelines, and also are probably one of the most cost effective out there. You can get free samples by going on the website. There's a little blue bar here at the top says interested in a free sample. Click here, click there, fill out a very short form, and they'll send them to your house. So I'm going to make sure. I know there's
I
more
like the
questions
chocolate.
coming on.
Is that back yet? Those chocolate things? Those
You know
calcium
what?
chocolates, those are good.
Oh, Jen, you just missed it by a week. We actually
Oh
just sold
no.
out last week.
Oh, those are
Ah,
so good.
we only have them during the cold months because of them melting, but especially in places like Arizona, I guess. But
Yeah. You don't want to
I'll
mail
have
that
to
in the
make a
summer.
mental note up here to when they come back in stock, which will be the spring, to send you some. I'll have to
Yes, I
remember
love
that.
them. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank this Elisa's saying thank you, Jen, and she's thanking Procare here. So we appreciate you. And she said I hope we can work together. So
Yeah,
she's
me
looking
too.
forward
I really want
to.
to help you guys in any way I can.
Okay. Somebody's asking, can any patient take the DS80 vitamins? I would take a look at the back of the DS80 formulation. We do have a multitude of other multivitamins for bariatric patients, whether you've had the sleeve, gastric bypass. The DS80 does have higher levels in it of certain specific vitamins that patients who've had the DS80, especially those fat soluble vitamins, may just be a little different. So maybe just take a look at it, talk with your bariatric facility and see if that's the right one for you if you're not really sure. But it could be, it just kind of depends on you. But we do have just regular multi for those who've had bariatric surgery that have not had the DS80 as well. So, oh, somebody's already booked your macros.
Yay. I'll email you guys as soon as we get done.
And our calcium chews do have probiotics in them. Probably most all of our calcium chews do, not only the new peaches and cream, but also our mocktails, our sea salted caramel, our dinner mint, and our um what's the other one? Cinnamon roll. All of those have them in it as well. Um, okay. And somebody else is asking about our Sensorts. Madison says we still do have Sensorts available online. They can be added with any 90 count bottle in your cart. We do not sell those. Our Sensorts have become so popular. They're like little scented hearts that you put inside the multivitamin to keep the flavor, to keep the smell elevated so that your experience is a little different than smelling that
Vitamin.
vitamin smell. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, Madison, for answering that. But no, Jen, thank you so much.
Welcome.
As always, I appreciate you, and I hope I get to see you again this year at some
Yes, I
point.
know. Me too. We'll see each other at a conference, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will. Well, okay. Lots of hugs, and thank you everybody for joining us, taking
Thank
care of
you.
yourself, and we'll see you on the next call. Stay very connected. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.